Hello. In the next 5 minutes, I hope to be able to give you something to think about in regard to the Constitution and what's happened to limited government. I begin with a quote that is sometimes attributed to Mark Twain, who said, "It's not what I don't know that gives me so much trouble. It's the things that I know for sure that are not true that prove most difficult for me." Most of us, I'm sure, have heard people say from time to time about various issues, "Why, everybody knows this is true," when in fact it is not true at all. Or perhaps we've had someone seeking our help for some good deed or thing that they were doing on behalf of others, conclude their appeal for our help by saying, "Well, after all, God in the Bible says that we are our brother's keeper." This expression, "our brother's keeper," is a phrase that has been used thousands of times over the decades by folks ranging from plumbers to preachers to presidents. But there is only one thing wrong with the statement. It is not true. God never said it. The expression "my brother's keeper" is in the Bible, but it was spoken not by God, but by a murderer, who formed it as a question, seeking to divert attention from his own misdeeds. Secondly, not only did God never say it, but also the word translated into English "keeper" here is a word that means to build a protective hedge or barrier around someone or something, as though to stand guard all of the time and protect what is inside. You may ask, well, what does this have to do with the Constitution and limited government? Well, actually, I believe quite a lot. You see, liberals use the phrase "our brother's keeper" in order to gain support for their big government agenda claiming to do good for other people, when in fact what they're really doing is to gain power for themselves so that they may control the lives of people. Think Michael Bloomberg or Barack Obama or many, many others. You see, only about 20% of the U.S. population are self-acknowledged liberals. Throw in another 10% for the communists, and that still leaves about 70%. So how did this minority get all of these big government things passed into law? Well, I believe what we were just talking about is one of the major reasons. For they say when they are proposing these things that they are doing that to protect people from the dangers of global warming, the dangers of being fat or skinny or poor or even having the wrong health care. Now, though most of the people of the country are not liberals, many, falsely believing that God has mandated that we be our brother's keepers, therefore find it hard to oppose these things that are presented as good things for our brothers and sisters, and also make it hard to mount a compelling argument against these things. I believe that largely explains why we are where we are today. So what is to be our relationship to our brother? Well, it simply is that we are to be our brother's brother, not his keeper. You see, I have 3 brothers, and it is my God-given responsibility to be their brother. But it is not my responsibility to be their keeper, to tell them what time to get up in the morning, what to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or what time to go to bed, what kind of car to drive, or, yes, what kind of health care to have. By God's decree, I am their brother. But they are free men, also by God's decree, and I am not their keeper. I'm Keith Tripp, and that's something to think about. Thank you.